got nothing to hide.
All right, so today I just wanted to talk about two options, I guess, that you have on your, or two items on my 2JZ engine that I don't find a whole lot of coverage on online. The first one being the intake. This is a Pro TunerZ intake for the 2JZ. It is from Canada, companies based out of Canada. They were the only ones during this pandemic that had something in stock that they could ship the day I ordered it. And they did. It arrived here 2 or 3 days later. It was excellent. My problem, I guess, that I want to point out is when I do searching for intakes, they don't have a whole lot of reviews on these. So it's really hard to know if you're buying a good one or a bad one or anything like that. You can buy one of those $2,000 to $3,000 intakes, and I'm sure it'd be great, but nobody can explain really why it's worth the $2,000 or $3,000 on the intake. They say, oh, the metal's thicker in that, but you look at like these and they're using the same sort of metal, same thickness that other companies are using. They say, oh, it's a higher quality. Well, nobody can really seem to prove that. So these guys just had one in stock. It was easy to get through customs and everything else. Got here quick. And so we'll see how it goes. If it's bad, I'll keep you informed. But that's kind of one thing I guess I wanted to talk about was the intake. You can get these intakes in different colors, so you can get them black like I've got it. You can get them polished, or there might be one other color off the top of my head that they sell. And then there's a fuel rail, which you can get black or red or purple or polished. So for mine, I went black, and then I did polished fuel rail. I did like the stainless steel, if you will, looking sort of fuel rail for it. I just wanted the contrast in colors. I also have a 90 millimeter throttle body. That was one of my requirements for this. I wanted to have a much bigger throttle body. I will have a problem with the power steering line. However, Powerhouse Racing makes a new piece that goes in here which puts a 90, so it'll go underneath the intake. I've already got that, I just haven't put it on. But other than that, fit and finish for this is excellent so far. Some things I have to do just because of the application, not because of the product. Obviously, because of how this sits, I had to cut the inner fender so it goes out. Now, I wanted my intake pipe or my charge air cooler pipe to come outside into the fender where I have a lot of room and then go back in, because that way it'll keep it out of the heat of the engine for a little bit longer, I guess. Not that it's a really long pipe that'll be in there, but it'll help with cooling the air down as it goes through. So that was one thing I specifically worked on. And then my injectors that I'll end up going with, I'm going to go with FIC injectors. I'm currently trying to decide what size injectors I want to go. And of course, you'll see that in another video. All right, the next thing I want to talk about was exhaust manifolds. I did a lot of research onto exhaust manifolds. And again, same scenario. You don't really find a whole lot. You got people who like that F1 style exhaust manifold for the 2JZ. I looked at that one, but as for any other real exhaust manifold, you didn't really find much. Now, I know you like to go with equal length tubes for all these. I decided after doing some searching and looking that I really like the Future Fabrication exhaust manifold. So I went ahead and bought that. It was 8 to 10 weeks. I think I was on the 10-week mark to have mine built. John emailed me when he was getting ready to build it. He told me that he was getting ready to build it and that he had some just questions as to what it was going in. I had told him what my project was and sent him just a picture of the engine bay. He responded back to me very quickly and asked for more pictures of the exhaust side of the engine bay so he could see how things work, and more so for the twin 44 millimeter wastegate options and where the placement should have been. So I took a tape measure and measured everything and sent him pictures of the measurements, and he built this. I assume pretty much stock to how he builds them all. He might have made a couple of small changes here and there for my setup, but very pleased with the product so far. So this thing was like $1,600, 10 weeks to basically get it going built, but then that week that he hit me up, he had it basically done, shipped it, excellent, and just a massive amount of bubble wrap, so it was protected. So he even, after packaging it in the bubble wrap, he even offers ceramic coating if you wanted to. He offers it in black and silver. I didn't like either one of those. I actually like the raw metal look, and it's just beautiful to see this like it is. We are currently trying to find basically a clear coat ceramic coating that we can put on this so that I can keep it as is. I just don't want to do any colors. This is a dual 44 millimeter tile, whatever, wastegate option with a true twin scroll T4 flange. These are not equal length tubes. They will obviously bolt right up in place. My engine mount on this side we had to run down because we didn't know how low this was going to sit. And he gave me fair warning that the number 3 was going to be the closest thing to it that might be an issue. And the number 3 tube clears that lower mount by an inch, maybe a little more. So it does just fine. So my next thing was to order the turbo and the wastegates. So I've got 2 44 millimeter wastegates coming. I'm just waiting on them to ship. And then I went with a Precision 6466 ball bearing turbo capable of producing 900 horsepower. As my engine was built for 800, and that's really where I wanted to max it out at. I didn't want to, in my quest to not stress parts, I didn't want a turbo that was basically going to max at 800. I like to overbuild to never stress the parts. That is my game plan. So my turbo is a 900 horsepower turbo, and that I'll run it at 700 probably most of the time. Dyno days and maybe days at the track when I really want to turn it up to 800 or so. That's what I'll do. But guess just wanted to give you just a quick recap, I guess, as to what we've got. You'll see this, of course, being installed and as soon as I get gaskets for it and everything else. Future Fab, just a brilliant product. It looks great. I'm very excited to see how this performs. And so there it is as it sits on the truck. Pretty simple, pretty easy to do.